Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mantra 11. Vidyam savidyam sa isayas. Vidyam savidyam sayas. Tat vedo vayam sa. Avidyaya mrityum tirtva. Vidyayam vrita asnute. Vidyam, knowledge in fact. Cha. And avidyam, nations. Cha. And ya, a person who that Veda knows. Ubhayam, both. Saha, simultaneously. Avidyaya, by culture of nations. Mrityam, repeated death. Tirtva, transcending. Vidyaya, by culture of knowledge. Amritam, deathlessness. Asnute, enjoys. Only one can learn the process of nations and that of transcendentals. Only one who can learn the process of nations and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. Please repeat. Only one who can learn the process of nation and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Askajai Gazatar Srila Prabhupada Ki Mantra 11. So in Mantra 9 we heard avidya takes to darkness and vidya takes to greater darkness. Interesting. That's sounds very paradoxal that avidya takes ones to darkness and vidya takes ones to greater darkness. Can someone explain me what avidya means in text 9? Yeah?
Avidya is science, not false avidya.
Please?
Avidya, false avidya, that is more, that is worse as
Yeah,
simpler way. That the false idea that yeah, sorry.
yeah, no problem. Yes, you.
Vidya is the Lord, and Vidya is meant to be greater darkness when you would learn knowledge which is not connected to the Lord. Worldly knowledge.
Yeah.
Some of this used to our present society, graduated society, the Bhagavad society. And that is Vidya, which is taken to greater darkness. Okay, that is.
Yeah, in text 9, this.
Yeah, that's not.
Yes. Mhm. That avidya is for sense gratification, pursuit, but it's ignorance. Without knowledge of God, no law of karma, all these things are not there. But vidya is knowledge to get sense gratification and planning for sense gratification. And purposely, I want sense gratification. God is not in the picture there. Not avidya and vidya, God is not in the picture. That's
So, can you repeat avidya? Because
avidya
Yep.
in text 9 is going for sense gratification without any knowledge, no transcendent knowledge, no God, just ignorant, like the animals going for sense gratification. But the meaning of vidya in text 9 means using one's intelligence and making plans to get sense gratification. Yes, please.
this one can be the analogy of the cobra with the fuel.
No, that's the next verse. That's the next verse. That is, the next verse is, yeah. Well, in some sense it is, yeah. Yes. That presenting knowledge for sense gratification as knowledge. And that is dangerous. That's true. Yeah. But then in text 10, vidya gives one result and avidya gives another result. What is vidya there? And what is avidya? So let's first say what is avidya in the second verse. The avidya in the second verse is the vidya from verse 9. That is and it includes karma kanda also. Karma kanda, they use their intelligence for and in the karma kanda section, also God is not in the picture. Karma mimamsa, karma is supreme. There's no God. We don't need God. You just do good deeds, and you get a good reaction. But that's we can easily remember the vidya in the 9 becomes the avidya in the 10. And then what is the vidya in text 10? That's easy.
Knowledge connected with God.
Krishna consciousness. Pursuit of Krishna consciousness. Now in text 11, it's a little different. So here we have again what we just explained. So avidya in text 11 here is knowledge for bodily maintenance, and the vidya is again Krishna consciousness. So the avidya is material knowledge for bodily maintenance. We need both to attain liberation, it is said. That so Krishna, I give an example of that. In Bhagavad Gita, in the sixth chapter, we will learn that to perform yoga, you must control the mind. So chapter 9 is how to control the mind, to bring the mind under control and to make it your friend. But to do that, Krishna says you must live a balanced life. Balanced. Not eat too much, not sleep too much, that not eat too little, not sleep too little, that you must be balanced. That so that's knowledge for bodily maintenance. That's an example. That's in Bhagavad Gita. So one need to have basic knowledge how to live in this world. Otherwise, one cannot use the human body as a vehicle for spiritual destination. So both the material and spiritual knowledge are required. We need the body as a vehicle to make spiritual advancement. So material knowledge helps us to navigate to the problems of life. Well, we can try at least. But we need to go beyond the problems of this world to the spiritual world. That's the purpose. Now, so therefore, that's the recommendation of this mantra 11. Now, what's in the purport here? The purport. Immortality is impossible material. That impossible. That in some religions they think, yes, at the time of death, they keep the body nicely and put it in the grave because later there will be a resurrection in the same body. And if a piece is missing, that's a problem. These beliefs are there, but immortality is impossible materially. So immortality is possible only for one who follows Krishna's teachings and gets Krishna's mercy. Only Krishna can give us immortality. Krishna comes to make us immortal. We are immortal, but we have to realize it. This body is not. Sense gratification binds us to mortality, restricted. Aparadharma balances material and spiritual, and paradharma grants immortality. So you need both. Aparadharma, which balances material and spiritual, and paradharma. So why is it impossible to attain immortality materially? An example is Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to do that. In spite of all his power, in one moment he was crushed by the power of time. Prahlad Maharaj said, one moment my father was finished. It is only by association with devotees and with devotion that one will get devotional service. So Ravan was conquering the universe. And at a certain moment, Ravan met Narada Muni. Narada Muni has a spiritual body. And Narada told to Ravan, you should give back Sita to Ram or you will be soon in big trouble. And Ravan became very angry and he took his sword and he tried to cut the body of Narada Muni in pieces. He took his sword and zip, it went to the body of Narada Muni, and he tried again, zip, and Narada Muni was still dancing in the air, singing the glories of Krishna. And Ravan became a little diplomatic. He said, what kind of body do you have? Oh, Narada Muni said, that's a spiritual body. And then he asked, can he also get such a body? No problem, Narada Muni said. You just must render devotional service to Lord Vishnu. And Hiranyakasipu said, impossible. That he did not want to do that. But there is an authorized process to get immortality, but the demoniac do not want to go through this process. They want to get immortality on a material level. Mystic power is also a way to control material nature. Ravan and Hiranyakasipu did austerities and to get powers from higher beings. The ideas motivating mystic and scientific power are the same. Both they want to control material nature. Today, people do not believe in mystic power, so all their attention goes to scientific powers. Immortality on the material level is not possible because everything material goes to 6 changes. 6 changes. Yes. Yeah. The 6 changes undergone by matter are unstoppable, even incomprehensible. So 6 changes that matter must go to the 6 changes. It takes birth, it grows for some time, then it maintains, get byproducts, it dwindles, and then it dies. So ensouled matter, ensouled within matter with a soul inside. Ensouled matter grows, reproduces, preserves itself, whereas ordinary matter does not. We come to that. So matter does not reproduce, but when there is a soul present, then there is reproduction. Interesting. The body, when injured, tries to heal itself because the soul is inside. This differentiates between an ensouled and ordinary matter. The changes are largely incomprehensible. We cannot stop them. This is the working of material nature. The one grows still, and then it stops, you maintain. Why is that happening? Nobody can understand. And then it dwindles. Why does it dwindle? Why is this happening? The scientists try to stop it, but they don't have a question, why is this happening? Some scientists say that in the future you will not grow old. That's what they say. Is it not possible that one can become young? No, why? Because we cannot control the body. Someone asked Srila Prabhupada, why do we need to bow down to God? Srila Prabhupada answered, forget God, you will have to bow down to material nature. Everyone has to bow down. That material nature is too powerful to control. We cannot. The nature of nature is mortality, of material nature is not mortality. We cannot change that. Nothing will work. If immortality is not possible on the material platform, where does the urge for immortality come from? It's deep-rooted in us, comes from the soul. The fly escapes because it loves life. The urge comes from a part from us that is immortal. That part is the Atma. What is the struggle of existence for survival? Prabhupada said, even the fittest do not survive. Immortality is possible if we raise the consciousness to the spiritual level. We have to raise our consciousness to the spiritual level. Even when you are in this mortal body, you regain your immortality, even while being in this body. You just have to raise your consciousness to the spiritual platform. Get rid of the contamination. The miseries of this material world reminds us to your incompatibility with that matter. I do not want to die, but death is forced upon me. Spirit and matter are incompatible. There is a process to liberate us from matter. The scriptures explain that you are not a body and that the material world is not our home. The scriptures say that we are aliens in this world. We have to go back to the spiritual world. We are not from this world. If the experience is connected with the education, then learning will happen. There will be no exception in material nature. Everyone has to die. There are ups and downs, but this doom's journey where misery will this is a doom's journey where misery will increase. The spiritual and materialistic worldviews are opposite. Some have a lollipop idea of spirituality. A lollipop idea. Everything will be solved and be all right in this world. We cannot make spiritual advancement in that way. We need to understand how the body is a bad bargain. How is the body a bad bargain? It's a bad bargain in terms of duration, intensity, variety, and extent. Dive. The duration. The body provides enjoyment and causes suffering. What is the duration of the enjoyment and of the suffering? The enjoyment is short and the suffering is lasting. Toothache and back pain for a long time. The amount of time of suffering is longer than the enjoyment. Yeah. Enjoyment of eating a pizza. It doesn't last long. Intensity. We try to enjoy the body, then the body is made in such a way that it is sensible, far more for pain than for pleasure. One pricking sensation of a needle disturbs the whole body, just a little thing. Yeah. One part of the tongue is bitten, then all the pleasure of tasting sweet rice disappears. Variety means that the bodily parts are not the same. Someone goes into the eyes, or degeneration may occur. Teeth are so complex that there is the entire branch dealing with tooth complications. Something cold can freeze it. something may cut it. When my father was 60, someone asked him, "How are you?" And he said, "Well, I have many ailments, but nothing is serious enough to die from." But, I'm now older, 63 in the body. And I must say, it's true. The wisdom of my father. That I don't hear much anymore of this, only 20%. My eyes, I see all black stripes between my vision. Something at the back of my eye, so I don't see properly anymore. My vertebrae here on the neck are degenerated, gives me pain from the blood circulation in my head is not right. But, and we can go on like that. Everyone has that. Once you are over 60, there's no exception. There will nobody be who says, "Oh, I'm all right." But, that's to be expected. Nothing we can do about it. The extent is compared to the number of parts of the body that can give pain are more than those who can give you pleasure. What will the liver give you pleasure? Because of this body is a bad bargain. If we understand this, we can dive deep into Krishna consciousness. Then we become serious if we understand that. Okay. Dharma Artha Kama Moksha. This is a paradharma, the best use of a bad bargain. Dharma Artha Kama Moksha. That, so that is many times misunderstood. The four goals of Hinduism, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Religiosity, getting wealth, satisfy your desires, and get liberation. But it means using one's Dharma, one's religiosity, and using one's Artha, one's wealth, and one's desires to attain moksha. That leads to material harmony and spiritual progress. So when people do Dharma, they will do in a sustainable way. That means Dharma gives us moral principles, the laws of mana. But that the Artha is managed equitably. That's, if there is no Dharma, then people engage in calm anyway. Dharma brings harmony. We will hear that about in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will tell him later in 2:11, Akartasana said, "Oh, Arjuna, you think yourself a pandit, but we are not a pandit. A pandit does not lament for the living or the dead, because he played the role of a pandit before. That Arjuna will say in the first chapter that yes, in Artha Shastra it is mentioned that one who is attacked by an aggressor, and there are 6 kinds of aggressors. One who plunders one's wealth, one who burns one's house, one who poisons one who steals or misuse or kidnap one's wife, and there are 2 others. Then you can kill them. That don't apply that in Germany. That was in the Vedic time. But yeah, that's the Artha Shastra. But looking at the arguments that Arjuna brings to before Arjuna, I said, no, this Artha Shastra, okay, Artha Shastra says that you can kill them, but Dharma Shastra is higher, he said. And Dharma Shastra said that if you kill your relatives, you go to hell. And he was arguing like that. We will see that beginning next week on Monday. But we need to understand that we are dependent on material nature. Really, by seeing how Dharma works, one learns what Scripture says true. If you follow the directions of the Scriptures of Dharma, you should do it for developing love of God. That's the purpose. That Aparadharma is material religion, but material needs we are required to fulfill in a dharmic way. Then there will be harmony in society on the material level. That is a Vedic principle. I could speak for a long time about the principle of Rete, performing sacrifice. In the Vedic times, they knew how material nature was working under subtle laws and how they could control material nature and get the desired outcome. And that is the following of Dharma. Use Dharma Artha Kam for developing Krishna consciousness. But that Paradharma is more important than this Dharma Artha Kama Moksha. The Paradharma is pure devotional service. That's the goal. This is what makes all happen. Paradharma is about developing pure love of God. See, the Pandavas, they were following the Aparadharma strictly, all the rules and regulations in the Manusmriti and in the Shastras, the Artha Shastra and others. But their goal was to please Krishna out of pure love. So that Paradharma was more important. It's pure devotional service, and that makes everything happen. Paradharma is about developing pure love of God. So Aparadharma and Paradharma must be harmonized. And that's the same principle that is here said. So our material needs must be fulfilled to a minimum in a religious way. And at the same time, we develop Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada used it, the adharma means, adharma is the opposite. It's making the worst use of a bad bargain. And that is what everyone does. In this world, people are obsessed only with artha and kama, wealth and lust, fulfilling their lusty desires. And that progresses to degradation and material devastation. So the worst thing we can do is we seek only artha and kama, wealth and are fulfilling our lusty desires. So therefore, for artha and kama, there must be a check, and that's dharma. Dharma is a check. the religious principles which leads us to Krishna consciousness. So if we don't do that, then it's most inauspicious. It's adharma. So we spoke about dharma, aparadharma, and paradharma. Aparadharma is material religion. It is used to get the minimum of material necessities. And that's used for paradharma. So if you have a stomach disease and one tries to enjoy a feast, it will create more suffering. So, and you will need more time to heal. Do not try to enjoy. Enjoy within the dharmic limits, balanced. That's also what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, balanced. So dharma, karma, and moksha combined leads to the elevation of the soul. And in the Vedic system, the varnashram was a social arrangement that was made for making this spiritual advancement. In varnashram, everyone did one prescribed duty as described in the scriptures. That is dharma. That is the Manu Samhita. And that's conducive for spiritual advancement. It will create a peaceful situation. So it brings one to goodness. It's a safety net. The aparadharma has to be managed. That at the same time, one has to practice paradharma, the Krishna consciousness. Because if one does not practice paradharma or Krishna consciousness, one's engagement in dharma is kaitava dharma, cheating. But Srimad Bhagavatam 112 brings us to, let us ask him. Kaitava dharma. Anything short of devotional service can satisfy neither Krishna nor the soul. Therefore, yes, one must practice aparadharma. Paradharma. Paradharma. Yeah. Now, this brings the difference. We will discuss it in Bhagavad Gita also. Therefore, if you have studied Bhagavad Gita, then you understand that. But the process of karma, so karma is here mentioned in the sense one does material activities like everyone in this world. You use the senses for material sense gratification, for material purposes. That it feels natural for the body, but it is binding. That you have to take birth again to get reactions and so on. So bhakti uses the material senses for spiritual purposes. It's not all for the soul, and it's liberating us. And Jnana, the Jnana is, they reject they reject using the senses for either material or spiritual purposes. They want to give everything, every connection with the body, they want to give it up. That go inside to the light and make your mind peaceful without any material desires, make it void. And one becomes liberated, so it's non-binding, but it's unnatural and therefore still temporary. You have to come back. But that will become clear when we study Bhagavad Gita, that use of material senses, reject sense, reject using the material senses for either material or spiritual purpose, not binding, but unnatural. So bhakti is the only solution. So this is the conclusion. A balanced program of spiritual and material knowledge. You have here, this is the yogi, this is the karmi, the one who does everything for sense gratification. That he used the senses for sense gratification and takes birth as an animal also. And here is the jnani. The jnani wants to give everything up. I'm not using the senses, I'm going inside, I meditate. But yeah, here it's not good to become an animal for sure. and here they get liberation, yes, but they have to come back because the soul wants activity. So it's only natural for us if we use the body in the service of Krishna, use it for spiritual purposes, and that's natural and liberate. So that is mantra 11. Mantra 11 is quite short, but mantra 12 is very long. So do you have any question on mantra 11? Otherwise we continue. Yes?
Spiritual body, let's become Ananda Maya.
Ananda Maya.
I was thinking of Ananda Maya. It goes out like the sheets. I was thinking that if Narada has a spiritual body, then he's like the uppermost layer, the innermost layer.
I don't know what Ananda Maya quotient is. Ananda Maya, I know, but what this quotient mean? Where do you get it from? But which scripture? Where is that in Prabhupada's books?
Nothing Prabhupada.
Yeah, then we don't discuss it. I don't know. I study only Prabhupada's books. I don't read any other book. I don't want to do it. But the spiritual body is Ananda Maya, full of bliss. Yeah, it's an Ananda Maya body. That's right. That, yeah. Yeah. Okay, can you speak louder? But this side is not good.
That is, to say, Hinduistic, following the religious principles. Dharma is religion, religious principles to follow. The Hindus are following these religious principles to come to art, to get something.
Well,
Not only Hindus.
first, Hindu is a word foreign that's invented. The word Hindu is invented by the Muslims who were referring to those who followed the Varnashram as those who were living out on the other side of the Indus river. But it's not an Indus is not with an H, but they could not pronounce it nicely, so it became Hindus. And later, historically, they identified themselves as Hindus, but that's something that does not exist. That Prabhupada said Hindu means Varnashram, followers of Varnashram. That is yeah. And that's in the Varnashram principles are for following that they have to follow prescribed duties. We find in Bhagavad Gita the cycle of sacrifice explained there, that because we maintain our bodies by grains. Grains come from sacrifice. Sacrifice comes from the performance of prescribed duties, and the performance of prescribed duties comes from the Vedas, and the Vedas comes from Krishna. So these prescribed duties are described in the Vedas, and that part of the Vedas which describes these duties for all the social orders and spiritual ashrams was explained, first given to Swayambhuva Manu, and therefore it's called the Manu Samhita, that these are the rules to be followed. That interesting, under when India was under the rule of the British Raj, then judges would judge someone, that if someone was a Muslim, it would be judged according to the Quran. And if it was a Hindu, they would be judged according to Manu Samhita. Interesting. Anyway, that's history. That all changed later, but that's, yeah. But Manu Samhita contains the prescribed duties, also other shastras, but they are from divine origin. That, but of course, that was based on the Vedic culture, and the Vedic culture. Now our society is topsy-turvy. That a society must be led by Brahmins, who know the goal of life and guides everyone who have no material desire, who are pure in heart, and will guide everyone towards liberation. They guided everyone to perform dharma, their prescribed duties for attaining liberation. Dharma, artha, kama is meant for moksha, getting liberation. And real liberation is Krishna consciousness. So the fifth goal is Krishna consciousness, developing prema. That, but yeah, it's called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha because Krishna also is. We see that in the Bhagavad Gita, many verses could be. Krishna speaks for different kinds of transcendentalists, and he wants them all to make spiritual advancement. We will see in the Gita also that but of course, these are all realizations transitional. We will go in next week. We will go deep into that. How all these yoga systems, how they connect, and why Krishna speaks that. We will go to it. Yeah. But yeah, Dharma. But these prescribed duties are there. And that's the main theme in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna repeats this twice to Arjuna. Do your prescribed duties according to your varna, to your duty, and do not try to do the duties of others. That's not going to work. Of course, in 5,000 years ago, there were 4 social authors, and they were quite pure. But then the battle of Kurukshetra came, and the Brahmins became degenerated, and they started to marry with each other. And now it's all gone. This purity is gone. No pure Brahmins anymore. It's all mixed. And that's Kali Yuga. That we are all, more or less Sudras, the lowest. That is reality. No, we will discuss that more next week. But the last question, because then we have to go.
Can I correct myself from before?
Yeah.
Nobody actually mentions in the Bhagavatam 6:15-12 that, can I read?
Yeah.
One who transcends all the 5 pushes, one who is liberated from the conceptions of Anamaya, Pranamaya, Mahamaya, Jnanamaya.
Yeah.
So, and then he says that in the Krishna book, he says that it's equal to the Brahmabhuta stage.
Yeah, but this is you said koshas, but this is the panchabhuta.
Panchasita,
Moment.
Panchakosha.
It's not kosha. It uses another name. It is moment. 13th chapter. Or it's 18 or 1. No, it is in the 13th chapter.
Yeah, 13:3.
Here. 13:5. Rishibir Bauta, Kitam Shanda Birvidam Pitai Brahma Bhuta Patasheva Hetumada Fenishita. So Krishna refers to the authority of the Vedanta. The knowledge of the fields of the activities and the knower of activities is described by the various sages in various writings. It is especially present in Vedanta Sutra with full reasoning and effect. There it states, as stated in the Taittiriya Upanishads 2.5, Brahma Pucha Pratishta. So that is the name, Brahma Pucha Pratishta, not Kusha if you say something. But Koshi, I never found out. It's Brahma Bhuta Pucha Pratishta.
So Brahmabhuta stage is that one was transcended.
No, Brahma Bhuta Pratishta. There are 5 stages of consciousness. Annamaya, food consciousness, like the animals. And then the next stage is Pranamaya. Pranamaya. There are other living entities. I'm not alone. I have to defend myself. And then you have Jnana Moya or Mana Moya. It's the same. Thinking, willing, feeling. Most people are on that platform. They identify with the mind. But then the next stage is Vijnana Moya. That realized the beginning of, then you understand I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, and you begin the process. And if that process is completed, you come to Ananda Moya. Ananda Moya is the consciousness of the spirit soul. If you have attained that, you are liberated. So that's true. Then you have attained the spiritual body. Yeah. But the name was different. Brahma Bhuta Pucha Pratishta. That's the name. And that's coming from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yeah, that's the Vedanta. Okay. Okay. Let's have a short break. till 5 past 5. Because then we have a long section for text 12.